Hey, are you thinking about investing in real estate? Did you know that many people who are invested in real estate, they actually shouldn't have been? So how do you know if real estate investment is something that you should pursue? Today, I'm going to give you 5 reasons why someone should not be investing in real estate. And if none of these or most of these reasons don't apply to you, congratulations, you are a good candidate to become a landlord. So let's run these 5 reasons down. So why am I talking about real estate investment in the midst of COVID-19? Well, I believe that these reasons apply now more than ever. Even during good times, a lot of these reasons why someone should not be investing in real estate still applies, but right now we need to be razor sharp focused on our finances in order to make a sound judgment call. So that's why I want to share with you these 5 reasons. And reason number 1 why someone should not be investing in real estate is if they cannot afford to put more money into the investment property every month. Now, let me give you an example. Suppose that we're buying an investment property for about $600,000. Today is low interest rate, and today is sort of height of rental return. You can expect to get about $2,300 in rent every month. But the mortgage payment at 80% for a $600,000 property works out to be about $2,300. Now don't forget, you still have to pay for the condo fee and the property tax. So those two work out to be about $400 per month. So that brings the total to about $2,800 give and change. As you can see, with $2,300 in income, we are still short about $500 to $600 to cover all the other costs of carrying it. And that's not including maintenance costs. Anything that breaks down, you have to put up extra money. So if you cannot afford to put more money into it right now, then even having the down payment, you should not be investing in real estate unless, of course, you borrow a lot less. So having a larger down payment will reduce the amount of mortgage you pay, but because it's an investment property, you want to maximize the amount of interest deduction. So you want to borrow as much as you can. That way you can have a better leverage. Same amount of money, buy more property. So you will have to budget that into your expenses, daily, monthly expenses. Okay, so the second reason why you may not want to invest in real estate is if you need that chunk of money, the down payment, in the short term for something else. Let's say you are planning to have a wedding, you're planning to buy a car, something expensive that you predict that you may be spending on in the next 3 to 5 years, then you really should not be investing in real estate. Real estate investment is a long-term game. It's not some get-rich-quick scheme where you can get in and out in a matter of months and hopefully to make money. Those days are gone. They were pre-2016. Perhaps in a few months you could make $200,000, $300,000. Those days are gone. We don't have that anymore. So right now, as I've always been saying, when you invest in real estate, it's a commitment. You're making a long-term commitment. It's like a hobby, or it's like, working out or dieting. It's not something that you get in and out within a week and you can see result. The result will come years down the road. My recommendation is for someone to hold their real estate property for a minimum of 10 to 15 years. I myself have invested since I was young, and I still have my first investment property, and it's about 25 years now, and I still own it. So the longer you hold, the more valuable it becomes and the more profit you will get from this investment property. And the third reason why someone should not be investing in real estate is if they don't have a stable job or there are problems with their credit report. Now this applies a lot more relevant now during COVID-19 than ever before. That is because lenders, banks and different lenders are tightening up their lending criteria. They are foreseeing that there's going to be a lot of delinquency, a lot of problems with the loans that they have already written out. So they are getting a lot tighter. If your job is not stable, your income is not stable, let's say you're self-employed or you are a seasonal employee, you cannot verify the income is still coming in, they may not lend to you. Right now, a lot of reports are saying that the banks are looking for not only your income from previous years, but they are looking for your income statement for the last few months to make sure that you still have your job and you're still getting paid and you're going to be able to afford the mortgage. The other issue is with credit report. When you apply for a mortgage, especially investment property, if they don't know too much about you, your credit report is like their first impression. If there are issues, there are red flags in your credit report, they're not going to approve or they won't give you the best rate. So my advice is take a look at your credit report, ask for a copy. You can go to Equifax, you can go to TransUnion, buy a report or ask for your own report. Sometimes it's free, and look through it, see if there's any issues, any correction that should be made, anything that you already paid off but it hasn't been reflected. Write them, ask them to correct it, provide them with proof. Make sure you brush it up before you apply for mortgage. That way you can get the best rate or best terms possible with lender for your investment property. Now, point number 4, the fourth reason why someone should not be investing in real estate has to do with your family future planning. This sort of ties into reason number 1 and 2, is that if you think you are going to be buying a new property or upgrading your own property within the next 3 to 5 years, suppose that you still live at home and you think you're going to be getting married, you're going to be buying your first house, then don't invest in real estate. Or if you already have a home, but you think there's a possibility I'm going to need a bigger house, do not invest in real estate. What you should do is put the money into something a little bit more liquid, let's say a GIC or term deposit, something that will make sure that your capital will not depreciate, and there's a good chance that you're going to make some decent interest, and leave those money for when you need to pay the down payment for your new home. Like I said, real estate investment is not a short-term commitment. When you have an investment property, it's not so easy to just sell it. There are closing days that you have to match. You may have to deal with the tenant, with the leases and all that. So if your plan suddenly decides that you need to go for a bigger property, I don't think you can liquidate your investment property fast enough in order to close down a deal for your principal residence. And I always encourage my clients to put their money into their principal residence first, buy the biggest property that they can afford, or improve it, build something that will add value to their existing property before they put the money into an investment property. The reason being is when you sell an investment property, there are a lot of costs associated with it, commission, the legal fees, but the biggest chunk is going to be capital gain. If there are any gains, subject to capital gains tax, and you're going to lose that. So always invest in your own principal residence first before you look at investment properties. So the last reason why someone shouldn't be in real estate investment is because they cannot handle the headache that comes with being a landlord. a lot of people think that they can just buy a property, rent it out, collect the rent, and the property will run itself. Unfortunately, that is not true. It is an active business. It needs your active involvement. Now, you can choose to manage the tenant yourself, or you can choose to hire a property manager, such as myself. I have been managing properties for my own client for over 20 years now. And right now I manage about 30 properties. And even up to today, we still come across different tenancy issues because we're dealing with all sorts of people. So there are going to be instances where an issue comes up and I will need the input of the landlord because ultimately it's their property. So I need to present them with option. They need to let me know how to proceed. Now, if you choose to manage it yourself, you will have to deal with the tenant's emotions and also the tenant's problems with the unit or their personal problem. Now, you also need to understand different legislations pertaining to your rights and obligations as well as the tenant's rights and obligations. Furthermore, you also need to have a good list of handymen to help you solve a lot of issues that may arise from things breaking down or things not working, and you need to have good people to support that. And my final comment to you is, if you choose to manage the property yourself, you need to treat it as a business. These are your customers. You can't be too friendly with them, especially with a tenant that may use that to their advantage. They may have issues paying you, but if you're too close with them, you're too friendly with them, it is very difficult for you to go after them for the money because now you're friends, they're asking for a favor. So how do you say no, right? So what you need to do is you need to be kind, be firm, but don't be too friendly, and treat them as a customer. You need to be good to them, but you just have to keep a certain distance so that when there's issues arises, you can deal with it professionally. So having said all that, real estate investment is not all that bad. There are a lot of positive that comes out of it, owning a investment property, such as capital appreciation, great leverage, something that you can buy with very little money, 20%, and you own a property that's worth a lot more. The tenant is helping you pay off the mortgage, and if you hold it long enough, it will become a positive cash flow investment vehicle. And you can also see that it is a lot less riskier than other forms of investment such as stock, because it's not as volatile, and housing is a necessity for human being, and you're providing a necessity. There's always going to be demand for a place to live, especially in Canada. We're seeing record number of immigration. Once the borders opens up, I can foresee that a lot of people are going to come to Canada. So there are going to be a lot of opportunities. So before you jump into real estate investment, just consider those 5 points that I mentioned, and I hope you will become a landlord. And cheers! I will see you in my next video.